Hello folks, making a little video here about how to fish New River in Giles County, Virginia. If you take a look at the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries state record fish, you will find that one heck of a lot of them are caught in the New River fishery, and that includes Crater Lake. Now if you notice there, I've got brook trout listed there, 5 pounds 10 ounces, caught in Big Stony Creek. Big Stony Creek's also in Giles County. We have a lot of trout streams down here, native trout streams, plus we also have some trout streams that are stocked. Specifically, we've got Dismal Creek that's stocked, Big Stony Creek is stocked, Wolf Creek is stocked, and there's some native trout streams down here also. But specifically, I'm going to talk about fishing New River. And these, if you take a look at those records, Virginia State, you're going to find that one heck of a lot of the state record fish are caught in New River. New River's got some deep holes in it, and it produces a lot of big fish. Moving on over to the next one. Also, if you take a look at the archery fishing state record, you'll find, you'll see there Crater Lake, which is part of the New River fishery. Carp, 45 pounds 7 ounces. There's also some big carp in New River itself. Most people don't fish for those though, but there's some big carp in New River. So a little bit about New River in Giles County. It's born high in the Appalachian Mountains, North Carolina, and the river runs north into Virginia, and it's creating magnificent views. In Giles County, you got railroad tracks for the most part running on both sides of the river. And you got some huge cliffs in parts on one side of the river and some parts on both sides of the river. It's the second oldest river in the world, and we have a lot of canoeing and a lot of kayaking goes on the river, and a lot of fishing goes on the river too. We have the Appalachian Trail here, and a lot of opportunities for hikers and cyclists, and also, like I say, there's a lot of native trout streams also. A lot of places down here to stay too. There's a lot of bed and breakfast, and there is also several motels that a person can stay in. There's also places you can rent along the river, camper space, and there's some other places that one can rent. There's lots of fishing opportunity here. There's several outfitters, outdoor companies that offer guiding fishing trips, either half day or full day. You can fish from the bank, or you can fish from, let me get back on my pictures here again. I need to pull this one up here so you can take a look at it, because you couldn't see the bottom part of it, but those pictures up at the bottom. So you can fish from the bank. You can also fish kayak and canoe. A lot of kayaks nowadays, they're specially designed for fishing, have wells in them to carry your fish and also to carry your gear. And then you can fish from a boat, outboard motor or jet motor on a boat, or even inboard motors, but a lot of the water is really shallow. So your outboard motors and your jet motors, you can use those, but like I say, you got to be real careful because the water is really shallow. There's places to camp right along the river. There's lots of places you can camp along the river for free, and there's some locations you can camp along the river for a fee. You got lots of deep holes in New River. There are holes in New River that go down to 70 feet, and some that go down to 30 feet, and of course a lot will go down to 10 or 15 feet. But there's also a lot of shallow water that runs over bedrock. So the use of outboard motors and inboard motors and boats is kind of limited. There are places where you can put in and maybe go a mile or so upriver or half mile upriver without having to worry about it too much. But getting, if you go downriver in your boats, getting back up over the falls is really, really difficult, because we have some class 3 and class 4 and rapids on the river. We have some pretty serious rapids on these rivers, and with a regular outboard motor, you can't hardly get back up over those falls and rapids without tearing your boat and your motor up. So all the outfitters here, they mainly do float fishing. They'll put in upriver someplace and float down to another location and take out. So they have most of their guided fishing is on the river is with float fishing. They float down the river and then they take out at another place down the river. Let me get on down here and pull up another picture here. This is a picture of one of the rafts that they use. They've got lots of these rafts. I know one outfit it's got 3 or 4 rafts. They'll have 2 or 3 guides out at the same time, taking fishermen down the river to fish. This is a guide here sitting in the middle with the oars, and he's got a couple of fishermen there with him. They take out either individuals or they'll take out a group of 2 to fish. And as a matter of fact, they can take out a group of 5 or 6 because they have got several rafts. So here is one of the outfitters that's located in Pembroke, Virginia, which is in Giles County. And they have a lot of canoes and kayaks, and they have several guides that take fishermen out fishing. Here's another about the same outfit, and you can give them a call if you're interested in doing a fishing trip. Picture there shows you a New River, and I believe this was taken up around McCoy, Virginia. From the looks of the picture, it's very scenic, and this is typical of the scenery that you're going to see on New River. Very beautiful. This is another one of the outfitters, and you can see this is also taken on New River. The picture there, and you can see the rapids in the background there, and the guy's holding up a smallmouth bass. And the state record for Virginia for smallmouth bass was taken in New River. This is a map of New River in Giles County. The river comes from Radford down into Giles County, comes down through a place called McCoy, which is above Eggleston there. You can put in your boat or your canoe at McCoy, which is above Eggleston, and you float down to Eggleston, or you can put in Eggleston and float down to Pembroke, or you can put in Pembroke and float down to Ripplemead, or you can put in Ripplemead, float down to Parisburg and take out, or you can put in Parisburg, float down to Narrows, or you can put in Narrows and float down to Rich Creek, and you can put in Rich Creek and float down to Glen Lynn. So, and there's a lot of places there where you can camp along the river for free, and you can also wade fish along the river there for free in a lot of the places. There are some places where you can't go. In places there, the river is, for example, there between Ripplemead and Parisburg, a lot of that river is very it's out away from the town, and there's really not much way to get into the river, so it's very isolated. And if you notice there between Eggleston and Pembroke too, a lot of the river's really isolated, and the only way you're going to get into it is by kayak or boat or raft or canoe, and that's a way to fish it. And like I say, the river's pretty shallow in a lot of places. It runs over bedrock, and it'd be very difficult to fish with an outboard or an inboard motor boat. There are some places you can do it, but going up and down the river for long distances is almost impossible. This is a satellite view, and once again, you can get these satellite view, these photos from Google Maps on the internet. And this shows Eggleston there, and on up the river from Eggleston is McCoy, where you can put in there. Have some beautiful rapids up at McCoy and rocks out in the river where the students from Virginia Tech will go down there and they'll go out on those rocks and sunbathe. And it's a popular destination. They have you can float down the river on inner tubes there too, also in McCoy. And also in Pembroke, you can do that in other places. But anyway, this is a satellite view. You can see where the river comes in down there in the right-hand corner, and it goes down to Eggleston, and then goes on down to Pembroke, and then goes on down to Ripmead. It goes on down to Parisburg, and then on down in the Narrows, and then on down in the Rich Creek, and then on down to Glenland. So there's many, many miles of fishing along New River in Giles County. Beautiful place to visit, and beautiful place to fish. Like I say, a lot of the state records in the state of Virginia comes out of the New River fishery, because it's a big river, got lots of deep holes in it. Great place to come visit and come fish. And also we've got a lot of the Appalachian Trail here, and lots of other like the Cascades Trailhead there you see on the map. That's one of the most hikes in the state of Virginia, probably in the country. It's really beautiful. It's got like a 70-foot high waterfall up at the end of it. So it's a really, really beautiful place to come visit and come fish. Bring your whole family. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe. I certainly appreciate it. Thanks.